Hello, everyone. Today, we will be discussing cryostable and adiabatic. First, here is the table of contents. The overall content of stability is as follows. In this session, I will explain what cryostable magnets and adiabatic magnets are. The overall variable definition and description used in the stability part are as follows. To explain cryostable and adiabatic, let me first delve into the power density equation and the concept of enthalpy margin. The power density equation serves as the governing equation for thermal phenomena occurring in composite wires. The equation, as follows, is elucidated from left to right. The leftmost term represents the energy thermally stored, followed by heat spreading due to conduction, heat generated by Joule heating, heat generated by disturbance, and finally, a term accounting for cooling. Depending on various scenarios, simplifications can be made to the given equation. The table on the right illustrates assumptions regarding the concept. For this session, concepts such as cryostability and adiabatic enthalpy, as shown in the table, should be considered. Moving on to disturbance, in superconducting magnets, various disturbances exist, and a plot depicting the spectra of disturbances over time is provided below. As the enthalpy margin of LTS, low-temperature superconductors, is much smaller than that of HTS, high-temperature superconductors, disturbances can easily exceed the enthalpy margin of LTS. This classification of magnets is based on whether disturbances can surpass the enthalpy margin. For more details on the enthalpy margin, refer to Chapter 5.1.3. Let me explain cryostable magnets. Cryostable magnets refer to magnets where disturbances can exceed the enthalpy margin. I'll describe how cryostable magnets can tolerate disturbances that surpass the enthalpy margin. Cryostable magnets, as seen in the diagram below, have almost all parts of the conductor in contact with the coolant. Therefore, when a disturbance causes a normal zone to occur and current sharing to take place, generating heat, it is immediately cooled by the coolant. Thus, even if disturbances surpass the enthalpy margin, they are manageable. The advantages of cryostable magnets include maximum stability and reliability to disturbances. An example is the MRI produced by a SOLT. Next, let me explain adiabatic magnets. Unlike cryostable magnets, adiabatic magnets have the characteristic that disturbances cannot exceed the enthalpy margin. If a disturbance surpasses the enthalpy margin, a quench occurs. As depicted in the graph on the right, when a disturbance occurs, it surpasses critical thresholds, leading to the formation of normal zones. Consequently, as shown in the left diagram, heat is generated. However, in this case, the heat cannot dissipate immediately, causing it to accumulate progressively. Eventually, this leads to a quench event. The advantages of adiabatic magnets include high current density and efficiency. Examples include LHC dipole magnets and NMR magnets. To summarize what was mentioned earlier, magnets can be classified into two types based on their contact with coolant. Cryostable magnets have almost all windings in contact with coolant, allowing them to cool Joule heating. Therefore, they feature the ability for disturbances to exceed the enthalpy margin. On the contrary, adiabatic magnets do not have contact with coolant, thus preventing disturbances from surpassing the enthalpy margin. As shown in the table below, cryostable magnets can operate even in the current sharing region. For further details on the current sharing region, please refer to Chapter 5.1.2. To summarize, the power density equation serves as the governing equation for thermal phenomena in composite wires. Cryostable magnets feature mostly well-cooled conductors, while adiabatic magnets have windings where cooling is absent except for the surface. Considering the small enthalpy margin of LTS, stability considerations regarding contact with coolant, as discussed earlier, are crucial. With HTS having a larger enthalpy margin, stability is less of an issue. Therefore, HTS magnets are mostly designed as adiabatic magnets. That concludes the presentation on cryostable and adiabatic magnets. Thank you for watching.